Basic concepts on data management. Components of data governance. We'll give a short overview of each of these components. When we say data dictionary, it's the collection of names, definitions, attributes about the data elements that are being used or captured in a database, information system, or part of a research project. Take note, it's a collection. Here is an example of a data dictionary created by the Philippine Statistics Authority for the Labor Force Survey. It's a collection of what? Of variables available in the LFS, listed by variable name, in which they appear in the dataset, the label of the variable, and a literal question as seen in the survey questionnaire. Some variables here include the region and the province. Let's look at the lower portion. We see a variable for the relationship of the respondent to the head of the household. In this exact question, as it appears in the questionnaire, what is blank's relationship to the household head? Do we still remember our encoding rules? Instead of writing, blank is the household head or blank is the husband of the household head, what we should enter is only the appropriate code for the given categories. The same applies to the variable sex with the code POFCO4_sex, labeled as CO4 sex. In the survey, the interviewer would ask, is blank male or female? And then enter code again. We will see more of how a data dictionary is used in our hands-on demonstration. Next, we have our metadata, or data that provides information about other data. In other words, data about data. There are different types of metadata. It depends on what you need it to describe. Some general content may include what data are produced by an organization, what it represents, how it's classified, where it came from, what is the data format, how is it defined, and what are the coding rules. We're going to show you two examples of metadata by going back to the example on the labor force survey. This is part of the metadata on the LFS itself. We have data on who collected the data, where the funding came from, which division in PSA produced this document, and when it was released. That's our first metadata. Our second one is specifically, we picked an example for the variable. We have data on the variable name. Now note how the file source is also included. The following information are also provided: the definition of the variable, the data characteristics such as the type, format, range of values, and so on. The literal question as seen in the questionnaire, we saw that earlier. And the categorical codes, the codes that they will be entering and what they mean. Now, do you remember how we define a data dictionary? It is a collection of names, definitions, and attributes about the data elements. And the question and codes here is a collection of definitions about the question category and their codes. What am I getting at? In this metadata, we have a collection of attributes. Therefore, a data dictionary is included in the metadata, but we can also have metadata for several variables. This is just sex. We have relationship to the household head, about the region, age, and so on. This means that we can have a collection of metadata. And what does that mean? A collection of metadata is also found in the data dictionary. The next component of data governance is statistical standards. They are agreed rules or guidelines on the concepts and definitions for consistency and comparability of data. Standards are used for statistical purposes, such as variable and statistics definitions. For example, what do we mean by head of household, dwelling unit, or how to compute for statistics like employment rate? There are also standards for methodologies and procedures, like how do you conduct a household survey or a business survey. And finally, a standard for classification systems. For example, what are the recognized classifications of occupations? The purpose of using standards, we reiterate, is for comparison and consistency of data. For example, comparison among different provinces, regions, or even countries. So we know which areas are doing well for health, education, or economic indicators. These standards and more are available in the PSA Inventory of Statistical Standards in the Philippines. You can find the EZIP through the PSA website or a Google Play Store application. A link is available in the TLMS. We encourage all LGUs to know more about statistics produced by the PSA. You can use them as reference for crafting your data dictionaries, metadata, or how surveys and data can be analyzed. The next component of data governance is data quality assurance. For the different methods of data collection, we need to ensure that the data collected is reliable, accurate, and complete. We have certain manuals and procedures that will guide us. Here are 2 references that you can look into for data quality assurance. From the Statistics Division, they have the United Nations National Quality Assurance Frameworks Manual for Official Statistics. Also from the United Nations, this time, the Conference on Trade and Development, they have a Statistics Quality and Assurance Framework. If you're interested to learn more about them, or for example access a self-assessment form from the SQAF that your office can adapt, a link to their websites and references on data quality assurance is also available in the Learning Management System. The last component of data governance is data security and privacy. Data security ensures that data privacy and confidentiality are maintained, that data is not breached, and that data is accessed appropriately by right people for the right purposes. The Department of Information and Communication Technology is the government resource for developments in national cybersecurity. We highlight here confidentiality. Before you ask for private information, you should consider its purpose. If you are targeting beneficiaries, then it's okay to ask for names and other identifying information. However, if you only need consolidation of data for LGE plans and accomplishments, there's no need for names and allow them to maintain anonymity. This discussion falls further under data privacy. I'm sure we're all familiar with the Republic Act No. 10173, or the Data Privacy Act of the Philippines. It assures free flow of information to provide innovation and growth while protecting the user's fundamental rights to privacy. To know more about data privacy, you may refer to the National Privacy Commission.